So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we have the PowerPoint slide up for today. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So in the last reading class, we focused on Act 1, scenes 5 through 7. So we were able to characterize Lady Macbeth, used her qualities and words to identify 2 new themes that we're going to be seeing throughout this play, and in drawing conclusions about masculinity in this society. So I think that understanding the very central character of Lady Macbeth is early on in this play is going to really help us understand the events that are soon to come in the story. Like I said, Lady Macbeth plays a very important part in this book, in this play, and just regarding some of the things that happen. So it's important that we're able to see some of this, just get to know her from the beginning, so that once we see the actions that she, actions that happen throughout the story, we're familiar with her, who she is. Today in class, what we're going to do is we're going to compare and contrast the experience of reading Act 1, Scene 5 with the experience of watching it performed by 2 actors. So we're going to be actually watching some video clips today. With this analysis, we're going to write a 4-paragraph essay. So for homework, you should have started brainstorming, writing down some things that you know about your major character. Thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about for reading homework. Thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about for reading homework. You were supposed to brainstorm. If you weren't in class on Friday, then we can touch bases. But on Friday, that was your homework assignment. Thank you, Lysandra. I was aware you wasn't here on Friday. And then we're going to go ahead and just complete our draft independently. So it's not really too much of a jam-packed class, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So do you guys have this performance task in your packet? No? Okay, so I'm noticing that we don't have this performance task. So we're just on your own, take 1 minute, read through the performance task. Great. So I need you to copy down what I put for the do and the what. I'm going to go ahead and just complete it and let you all know what are some of the things that we're going to be doing today. So it's telling us that we are going to be uploading videos of like Shakespeare's famous scene in the catalog. So we want to go ahead and compare the experience of watching the video to Shakespeare's work, as well as reading it. So we know we're going to be doing some comparing and contrasting here of reading these plays and these scenes. And Bintu, focus please. And getting to watch them and experience them live. Bintu, please focus. Thank you. So our first paragraph, as we always know, is going to be our intro. So I'm going to go ahead and put the introduction on the top. So that's number 1. And then we know we always end with our conclusion. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the bottom as our conclusion. Now, what we need to do is we need to think about what are the body paragraphs that are going to be in between this intro and this conclusion, right? Sorry, I made a mistake. That is not number 2. That's basically number 6. So within our first body paragraph, we know we are going to summarize how the scene is read. Thumbs up if you're able to see my screen, what I'm drawing on it, and you're keeping up. Kiara, just put a thumbs up if you are, because you're the one that's right on my screen. Thank you. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Lasandra. Thank you, Adelaide. Yep, you're the 4AC. Great. So Within our next body paragraph, we're going to summarize, again, how the scene is viewed. So when we watched it, what are some of the things that we see happening in the scene? Anaya, yes, go ahead. Logan, please show your camera. Anaya, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, Anaya?
Oh, I feel like this is similar to the last performance task that we did.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be similar, but we're doing it based on Macbeth this time. So remember the last time, sorry.
So it's the same amount of paragraphs, so it's 4 paragraphs.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna talk about the intro and the conclusion really quickly, but it's really gonna be 4 paragraphs, okay? All right, the next one, you are going to say the similarities between the 2 experiences. And of course, that means the last one is going to be the differences between 2 experiences. So I know I said that this is going to be a 4 paragraph analysis. Yes, it is true. It's going to be 4 paragraphs, but I know some of us are like, but we have 6 paragraphs. Now, your intro is just going to be an introduction statement. So I don't expect a full-blown intro. And then your conclusion is just going to be a concluding sentence. Questions? So just basically recapping. How are you going to introduce it? You don't have to have a full-blown introduction where you're doing the plot overview and recapping what's going on in the text. I just need to have an intro statement where it's kind of like talking about introducing what you're going to be speaking about in the text. But you're not saying it in this essay. I will be saying we're not including ourselves in the essay. We're doing this academically. I don't want to give off the example because then I feel like that's all I'm just gonna get my example thrown back at you. But we've been doing these academic essays for how long now? We've practiced it doing our connecting sentences. We practiced extensively how to write a proper introduction. So I know that you all are going to do some great things with your intro statement and your concluding statement. I see a hand up from Katie. Go ahead, Katie. Quincy, please turn on your camera. Go ahead, Katie.
For the introduction and the conclusion, are we gonna, like for the intro, are we gonna put it together with the first paragraph?
You'll do it as just a short sentence. So it will be its own paragraph, but it won't be a full paragraph. Any questions? Anaya, question? What's your question?
Is it like, are the summary paragraphs 1 paragraph itself? Because last time it was like 2 paragraphs combined.
So it's 2 paragraphs because you're summarizing how the scene is read first, and then you're summarizing how it's viewed. So 1 paragraph on how it's being read. So when you read it, what are some of the things you see? What are some of the things you imagine in your head? Versus when you view it, what are some of the things you see and some of the things that you hear? Anaya, question? Put a thumbs down if you have a question. If you don't have a question, Anaya. Katie, question? If I actually have a question, just put a thumbs down. Bintu, question? You have a question, Bintu? What's your question? Nana, question? Elijah? I need you all to be focused and paying attention because I'm calling your names. Elijah, question? Alejandro, question? Silas, question? Kiara, question? Yeah, Kiara.
Logan, I just unmuted you. Do you have a question?
Go ahead, Kiara.
No.
Oh wait, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Think about it. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Thank you. Jessica, question? Naya, question? Anthony, focus, question? Eric, question? Lemoore, question? Abriana, question? Nana, question? Angelina, question? Joseph, thank you, Joseph. Josue, question? Sonovia, question? Sonovia, pick your head up. Let's go. Question? Esther, question? Thank you, Esther. Logan, do you have a question? You said no already. Adelaide, question? Great, go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, so exactly how long do you, like around how many sentences should we write for the intro and the conclusion?
So it's as much as you can, it's just a statement. So if it's 3 sentences, that's fine. I just need you to introduce what you're talking about. So you can't just go ahead and summarize how the scene is being read without telling me what I'm going to be reading about in my
Okay.
Okay, Lasandra, question? Silas, question? Silas? Great, I asked everyone if they had a question because I want to make sure that everyone is on the right page and everyone knows what's going on, know what they're doing before we go off and do this assignment. So just really quickly to yourself, read the steps to complete this assignment. Give me a second so I can just erase this. I don't want the other, if someone else needs that, I don't want it to be there for them. I'm just gonna keep moving on. Great, so these are the steps that we're gonna take to complete the assignment. We've done this numerous times, so just take 10 seconds to yourself, read it. Great, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the rubric. So this is the rubric that we're gonna be using. It's nothing new. What will get, what will get you a 4 versus a 3 versus a 2 versus a 1. Great, what I'm gonna do now is I am going to give you the next 4 minutes on the timer. I want you all to come up with what are some of the things that you see when you're reading Act 1, Scene 5? What are some of the things that you hear when you're reading Act 1, Scene 5? So you can go ahead and put this in a T-chart like we've done before. But based on this act, what are some of the things that you see? And what are some of the things that you hear? So make a T-chart in your notebooks because you're going to need this to write your essays. What are some of the things that you see? What are some of the things that you hear? So I know that we're not, obviously we don't have the luxury to do turn-in talks here, but what, you know, was a suggestion from Ms. Marion. I said it sounded like a really good idea, so I want to try it. So we all know our ELA partnerships, correct? Thumbs up if we all know who's our ELA partners. So what I'm going to do is for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to open up the chat so that you can message your ELA partnerships and you all can collab on this. So you're going to write down some things that you see, some things that you hear. Now, what that means is you have access to chat everyone. I understand, great, but I'm trusting that we're going to be mature and responsible enough to just have conversations with our ELA partnership.
So Ms. Zilla,
yeah.
if I understand, you're opening the chat so that they can chat to everyone, but not privately.
It's gonna be everyone publicly, but they're
Public.
only supposed to be chatting with their ELA partners.
And so we'll monitor the chat as you chat to everyone. So look for the chat from your partner's name.
Mm-hmm.
You could even put your partner's name, the very first word that you say. So like say their name. So if my partner was Jessica, I
Well,
might say
it's
Jessica.
gonna, well, we can't monitor it. We can't really see it. So let's say Anthony is working with Joseph. So
So
Anthony
it
will
won't be
just,
public.
yeah, we won't see it. So Anthony and Joseph will be able to message each other.
Okay.
So I'm just trying that out based on some of the suggestions that we heard in that we was talking about in stand up today. But I want to trust you all to know that you're only going to work with your ELA partnerships on this. Thumbs up if we know what's going on. Thumbs up if we're on the right. We're understanding what I'm saying. So you just need to work with your ELA partners. So you and your ELA partners are the only people that should be able to message each other back and forth. Please do not message your friends on this chat. Please do not have side conversations on this chat. Like I said, I'm trusting you all. Please don't, lose the trust. Great. Take the next 3 minutes and chat with your ELA partnership. You may go ahead and just write down some of the things that you see, some of the things that you hear. Go ahead and get started. And if your partner says something that you didn't think of, go ahead and just jot that down in your notebook as well, so that you can add it to your charts. Naya, question?
Yeah, what if you're in a three, what if you're in three, what if you have two partners? Because I have Noel and Kiara.
So you
So
can
how am I
message
supposed
both
to
of them. Just message both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You have about
Alejandro,
2
can
more
you
minutes.
adjust your camera so that you're on in the camera? Thank you. Or adjust your body position, whichever.
You have a little less than 2 minutes. Lysandra, you have a question? Go ahead.
What if your partner is not responding back?
Okay, so it's okay. Just put your suggestions in there. And if they're probably not paying attention to the chat, but if they see the chat open, then they'll see it there. I just ask that everyone responds to their partner as well. Put some of your own thoughts into it as well. Alejandro, question?
So my chat is stuck on your name and I can't change it because it does not work and I cannot text Anaya now.
Okay, so you can chat it to me and I can send it to her. Dinty, you have a question?
No.
Okay. Quincy, please show your screen. You have about 30 more seconds left. All right, so my timer just went off. So I hope that we were able to connect with our ELA partnerships and we were able to get down some ideas. So Novia, I can come to you later about that. We were able to get down some ideas and we were able to fill in our charts about some of the things that we see and some of the things that we see when we're reading the text. Great, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do the same thing that we just did with doing us what we see versus what we hear. But this time we're gonna do it by watching the video. So what are some of the things that we see? What are some of the things that we hear based on our experience of hearing watching the play being acted out? So I'm gonna go ahead and start playing I'm gonna stop sharing my screen really quick because it's not gonna let me click on the link. Just give me 1 second. But I'm gonna go ahead and start the video for us so that we're able to see it being performed. And then we're just gonna jot down some of the things that we see and some of the things that we hear based on our experience. My computer froze. Give me 1 second.
A video tip for everyone who may be sitting near any windows. If you have the window directly behind you, it's pretty dark. It's a gloomy day here, but if you have a lot of bright light behind you, your video is going to wash out your face, so we won't be able to see you. Alejandro, we're able to see your actions on video right now. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna play my screen. I'm gonna share my screen, excuse me, so that you all are able to watch the video as well. All right. Thumbs up if you can hear it. Give me 1 second.
So remember to click share audio, computer audio.
Hail King that shall be.
Thank you,
Hail
Jessica. Thank you,
King
Eric.
that shall be. They met me in the day of success, and I've learned by the perfectest report, they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail, King that shall be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dews of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst strongly win. Thou'dst have great alarms, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who whatso would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who almost dead for breath had scarcely more than would make up his mess.
Do give him tending, he brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements.
Remember to be filling in your text as you're watching.
Come, you spirits, that tend on mortal thoughts. Unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse. That no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers. Wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pour thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark, to cry, hold, hold. Great lambs, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your hand, your eye, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop this out
Miss
there.
Scylla, did you close the private chat?
No, yes, I did.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna stop this here, and I'm gonna bring the PowerPoint back up. So go ahead and continue jotting down some of the things that you saw in the video versus some of the things that you heard in the video. Take about 1 more minute.
Nana, adjust your video so that we can see you.
Questions about what we're about to do with the performance task? Anyone needs any elaborations on anything before I send you guys off for the last 5 minutes? Kiara? Okay, Kiara.
So for what we see is for what we see in the video or in the text?
So we already did what we see and what we hear in the text. So now what we're focusing on is what we see and hear in the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we did the see and versus hear in the text already. That's what we did the first time, but now we're doing it for the video. Naya? Go ahead.
Yeah, when is this due?
So let's not worry about the due date right now. Depending on how far we get, I will come up with a due date, okay? Great. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you all get started writing. So for the last 5 minutes, we all have the outline, we all have our charts to go off of. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the last 5 minutes of class to go ahead and start your performance task. It most likely won't be due tomorrow, just so that you guys have enough time to write it out. As you're writing though, when we're closing out, I will go ahead and give you guys a due date. If you're ready to go, you may go ahead and get started. Lemuel, type your question in the chat. Adelaide, type your question in the chat. Just so I can have everyone going ahead. It does not have to be typed. If you want to type it, you may go ahead and do so. If you are writing it out, just do the same thing. Make sure you email me a picture of it. Angelina, we're starting the performance task, so you are not outlining, you're starting your performance task. We already went over the outline where we did the do what chart so that we know what we were going to do. But right now, you're going to go ahead and start writing out your essay. Adelaide, if you have a question, please write it out in the chat for me. Lemuel, you as well. Yes, Lemuel. Can I do that? I put my email address back up for those of you guys that may need it.
Lysandra, adjust your camera so that we can see that you're here, present in class. Thank you. Nana, so everyone is responsible for monitoring their own cameras. Your own video shows up right on your own screen that you're looking at constantly. You should be looking at that every few moments to make sure that your camera's on your face. It's your responsibility from this point on. If you're consistently off camera, then the teacher may decide that you're not going to get credit for being in class because there's no way for us to know that you are actually in class engaging in the work. It's not a heavy lift for you to check your camera every few moments to make sure that it is pointing at your face, and then to fix it if it's pointed in the wrong direction.
Everyone should have the text at this point because I emailed it to you all that said you didn't have the text, and then I sent it on your Jupyter. So if you haven't checked your Jupyter and you haven't checked your emails, that means you haven't been doing the reading, because I sent it to everyone at this point. I've sent it out about 3 times at this point. I will send the link for the video again if we need to be able to access it.
Host, where you need to change your background or whatever the image is that is coming up on your screen. Yeah, that's something that we discussed once before, or a few times before. So no anime characters or whatever that is for your background.
Yes, Zenobia. I will send the prompt. I will send the link. I will send the Macbeth link again. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of that set up for you all so that you guys have access to it. But right now I have to close out so you guys can get into enrichment on time. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out. So today in class we compared and contrast the experience of reading Act 1, Scene 5 with the experience of watching it by these talented actors that we just saw performing at the scene. We went through this and went through our discussion. Went through our prompt that we're going to be working with and started writing out our 4-paragraph essays. Your homework for tonight: you are going to read Act 2, scenes 1 through 2. This assignment performance task will be due on Wednesday. So I'll give you an extra day. I'll give you until Wednesday to get this done. So it should be done. Like I said, if you're going to type it out, you need to email it to me. If you're going to write it out, take a picture, send it to me like you did. I put my email in the chat. Make sure you copy it down beforehand. Do not send it to my classical account. Send it to my Gmail account. I want to make sure that I have all of your assignments in one place. Like I said, homework is to read Act 2, Scenes 1 and Scene 2. Question: if you do not have a question and you're good to go, you may log out and join your enrichment link. I will see you all in writing. Enjoy your enrichment and your break.
So Quincy, it's the end of